Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I actually just wanted to come in because I received a very powerful comment, and this isn't the first one that I've received in the last several months. And sadly, this is a story that I've actually heard a few times when I've gone to foster and adoption support groups. So I really wanted to kind of bring this forward as more of an awareness alert. So to be respectful of some of the comments that I've received, I'm not going to name their handle name, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what was shared. I've had the privilege, let me just say this, it has been a privilege for me to have people who were in the foster care system as a child or teenager, who were placed there against their choice, and out of their control. And I don't mean to get emotional because this is just an emotional topic. It's hard. But I've had a couple of people who were in foster care who reached out to me. So thank you very much for doing that, first of all. And they shared with me just a snippet of their story. I know there's so much more to it. There always is with a story. And they shared with me what I would consider an absolute horror. An absolute horror, because these people, they experienced abuse in the foster care system. That literally blows my mind. I don't mean to sound naive, and I really don't mean to sound completely ignorant, but I'm afraid I'm both, truly. When I've gone to a few support groups for foster and adoption, the topic of abuse in foster care is so lightly touched upon. In fact, it's barely spoken of. It's almost like, if any of you are Harry Potter fans, I am a huge one, love, love, love Harry Potter. It really does kind of remind me how in the story of Harry Potter, they always treated the Lord Voldemort, they always said, he who must not be named. I really feel like that's what this is all about. And I am overwhelmed by how common it is that there is abuse in the foster care system. And for some of you who are licensing, because I've had a lot of you reach out to me, and thank you, by the way. I love when you reach out to me and you tell me, hey, I've just started the licensing process, or I'm in this part, or we're going through this, and isn't this crazy? I love it because I feel like I'm building a support group myself. Because, by the way, guys, you know, when we get our new placement, you're gonna see me cry. You're gonna see me get emotional. You're gonna see me break down when we're having really crazy and bad days. And, you know, this is part of me trying to build a village, because I want there to be awareness. And sometimes we need to talk about the things that people aren't talking about, which is the abuse and neglect inside the foster care system. I have such a hard time comprehending, not believing, because it's not that I don't believe these people. I have a family member who was in the foster care system as a very young child. And there were stories from that person that really impacted my heart, especially when my husband and I became foster parents, and that person's stories really started to come more to the forefront of my mind. And I really thought about that person's experience. But since growing this channel and really kind of fine tweaking it to foster and adoption care and awareness and education, I've had the honor and the privilege of having a few people reach out to me with just their story. But I am just so beyond comprehension, like how this happens. How does abuse and neglect happen by the hands of a foster parent? And I don't know if it's as simple as to say, oh, well, that was 20 years ago or 25 years ago. Because I really don't even feel like that's right to say. Because why would that be okay? I mean, so what? Then things are better in the last 10, 5 years? I'm not sure. I mean, because you still get these stories. And I don't hear the stories as much, but I wonder why. Why are we not hearing these stories? And how are we, as soon to be foster and adoptive parents, or already or just recently licensed or experienced foster and adoptive parents, how do we change this? How do we bring forward our voice? Because the ones who are here for the right reason, to love, to nurture, to care for, to provide a home, and 5, to provide rehabilitation. This one person was sharing with me why they were placed into care, and it didn't fit the list that I gave you guys in the last video. And I apologize. I didn't want you, the particular person who reached out to me, I didn't want you to think I was forgetting your particular situation. Sadly enough, which you may not be aware of, that list that I provided, that's considered the common list. It's provided to a lot of us foster and adoptive parents. Hang on, Atlas needs to go outside. You gonna be nice?
Yeah. I'm gonna be nice. Don't bark at that other dog. Don't bark. Okay. Alright. Go on. And don't drink that water. It's for the birds. These poor little birds have been so thirsty. I don't know if you guys can see it. The little squirrels.
So, Houston's under a huge heat advisory right now. So, which is just kind of weird for June. But anyway, back on topic. Yeah, so there are a lot of circumstances that I believe that a lot of us who are foster and adoptive parents were not aware of. The hard part about it, that I can tell you from experience of being a foster mom to 8 kids, I really don't ever get to learn their story. I don't get to really learn why a child was removed. I will be told by the Child Protective Service agency or agent, the person who removes that child from the home, and they drop you off, and they drop them off at your home at the all hours of day and night. They give me their suspicion. Parent was addicted to drugs, or parent was an alcoholic, or there was abuse or neglect or something of that nature, homelessness. But you don't really know the story. You don't understand the reason. And like the person that shared their story recently with me, I had tears in my eyes. I had tears in my eyes because I could not imagine, when we had our 3 girls in our home, our foster daughters last year, I could not imagine not letting them grieve their mom or their dad or their situation, because they didn't choose to come to Sean and I's home. They had no choice. And that is so hard, and that is so important for so many of us who are getting into this. I understand that so many of us are coming from the infertility journey, my husband and I included. I am not able to have children safely for medical reasons, and it has been a very hard journey for me to grieve and for me to find peace in that. And originally, I will tell you, I did come to foster care as a backup plan. I'm not proud to admit that, because I know that sounds terrible, and I know that makes me look horrible. But I didn't know any other way to grow my family. And the problem was, when you're walking away from years of fertility, you are walking away from a long, arduous debt program. What I found, though, as a foster mom, what I found as a step-in parent, I found the purpose of parenting. I found the actual privilege of parenting. My whole world changed because it went from just wanting to have a family to understanding really what is family? What is a community? Why is there a saying that says it takes a village? I have learned by listening to heartbreaking stories from kids who have had things done to them that I can't imagine. I've never been through. I didn't come from a privileged background. I didn't come from a perfect background. My upbringing with my parents and my brothers were filled with good and bad. And there were a lot of lessons that I learned. But there was a lot of blessings that I had that I did not fully appreciate until I became a foster parent. And I was able to, I was able to really just really give thanks to the people who did step in and raise me and love me and guide me, and for better and for worse. So to the person that reached out to me, to the several people who have reached out to me and shared parts of their story, I wish I could give you the greatest and biggest hug. I wish I could cry with you and let you cry on my shoulder. I wish I could have been your foster mom at the age that you were when you came in, because I'm the kind of person that loves giving big bear hugs because I'm a big lady. I know not all of y'all can really see it, but I'm 5'8" and I weigh a lot, but that's okay because that's a lot of love to give. I'm okay with being a big girl. I would have just loved and hugged and snuggled and given lots of kisses on the forehead and cheeks. Foster care, you got to be really specific, but only if obviously the child was feeling safe and secure with accepting and receiving that. Because sometimes a lot of these children come in and it's hard for them to receive healthy, I have to really think about my words here, healthy, appropriate physical affection, because not all of these kids got that. So it takes a while for them to be used to hugs and snuggles. There was the 4-year-old that we had last year. She turned 5 not too long after she left. One of her favorite things that she loved to do once she felt more safe and secure in our home was sometimes when she was feeling completely emotionally overwhelmed, she would just lift her arms up to me and I would just hold her and I would sway and just hold her up here. And her little legs were wrapped around my waist and her little arms were draped over my shoulders. And we would just be there. We would just be there until, she would just let me know that she was ready to get down and go play. Or the couple of occasions where I had to tell her I had to let her down because my back was starting to seize up, which I felt really bad about. But this is for you guys, this is to provide many of you foster and adoptive parents or soon to be perspective. I am so humbled. I am so humbled by the experiences that I'm having so far with this channel. And the more people or young people who were in foster care in their youth that reach out and share their story, I will do everything I can to as respectfully share your story as I can, by honoring you and honoring the journey and the path that you had to walk and you had to survive, but by hopefully teaching and educating and inspiring others to do better and to correct. And I think that's what all of our goals are in this journey, is we're trying to do better. we're trying to make a better place for these children, because these children do have a mom and a dad and a grandma and an aunt and an uncle and so forth and so on. They have it all. And we don't know, as a foster parent and even as a pre-adoptive parent, we don't know if these children are going to stay with us or if they're going to go back home. And home may be with family, it may be with extended family or family friends. We don't know, but we know this: those children or teenagers, they do love those people. They're angry if they come from a really hard place, but they do love them. That's their home, that's their life, that's all they know. I guess the moral of this video and story is be compassionate. Place yourself in the shoes of someone that is coming into your home who doesn't know you, who only knows what they know, and they're scared. They're scared, and they don't understand what's happening. And you don't have a lot of information, and the child or teenager doesn't have a lot of information. Sometimes the CPS worker doesn't have a lot of information. This is hard. This is where it gets hard. And we as a community, we have to band together. When I'm gonna be crying on the video with you guys, I'm sure, and just overwhelmed and whatnot, you guys are probably going to respond, which I love, and you're gonna comment and you're gonna say, hey, whatever your awesome, great, inspiring parenting advice is. And I'm going to drink that up like I haven't had water and I've been walking through the desert for a year. So I hope this video, as long as it was, I hope it was helpful. I hope this provides you that just deep-seated fire desire inside of you to be a better foster or pre-adoptive parent and to love those babies. Teenagers, children, they're all babies. Bring them into your heart, love them, give them hugs and snuggles if they are okay with it, kisses in the appropriate places here, so long as they're, that they're respectful, that they're receiving, and they know that it's okay to receive that, and it's respectful for you to give. But love them as your own. Love hurts, guys. Love does include loss, but love also includes healing and beauty. And yeah. All right, guys, I will see you on Friday at 7 p.m. for a live Q&A. Bye.